What I'm trying to do here is use the space that I've got both in my head and in the office here, afforded by the fact that we're all under lockdown. It's 21st of May 2020. The opportunity has been to resurrect some of the projects that I've been working on for many years, 50 or so. Ever since I was a teenager, really walking past a tombstone in Bury St Edmunds where I first saw the stimulus material for one of the things that I've been working on for a long time. Treacherous Snares. I did a play of it and I've worked in many ways with students on workshops. It's been a bit of an obsession. Given the space and the time that I have now, I thought that I'd get out a lot of the material and start to annotate it with a lot more rigour and a lot more carefully in terms of the research process before I actually embark on writing what I hope would be the beginning of a novel, basically, transferring the material in the play through to a literary prose form. So I'm kind of making notes as I go along, and I'm trying to use this video as a way of supplementing those notes and annotating what I'm doing. So this is kind of video one. It's introducing the project. It's very early on, and I'm still going through the contemporaneous letters that were written around about 1800 within a 3-week period in 1800 up until Sarah Lloyd's hanging, which resulted in the memorial plaque that was placed in Bury Graveyard. It's a convoluted story, many characters, a lot of narrative, a lot of emotion, a lot of melodrama, and hopefully it will be able to be translated into something that's kind of structured and laid out in a fairly clear way. I'm not going for fact as such. Ultimately it's a creative activity, but there are lots of different characters and facts and events that are suggested by the letters themselves, which are verifiable, even though they're quite difficult sometimes to decipher, and some of the dates are kind of mixed up. But that doesn't matter, I can make those dates up. It's a very tight period in a certain political and social and historical context, from the very end of 1799 through to April of 1800, involving high politics, but also a local event and a magistrate who takes a particular interest in this case. So there's a lot of characters, only one of which is a woman, which I kind of find interesting as well, because she is in prison during the whole 3-week period and it revolves around her, so hopefully there'll be a reference point, a fixed point of her solitary confinement to a large extent, and the effect that actually may be no effect that's having on her by the work of the men on the outside on her behalf, or sometimes not. Sometimes they're actively working against her. But anyway, the material is here. I need to really keep track of it, and I'm doing a lot of writing as I go along in terms of annotating this material. But I also need to talk to you to a large extent, so that I can go back over what it is that I'm actually doing in a more systematic way. It may also prove useful later on for other people, who knows.